Australia began the day with a record-breaking century stand for the 10th wicket between Cameron Green and Josh Hazlewood to set up an imposing first innings total, and they ended the day 13 for 2 with Steve Smith and Marnus Labuschagne out cheaply to Tim Southey. But in between times, it was normal service resumes as far as Australia and New Zealand Test cricket is concerned. New Zealand put under enormous pressure and folding as a result of it. Bowled out for 179 and they're 200 plus runs behind. They were 12 for 3 and 29 for 5 at one stage after a calamitous run out where Kane Williamson ran into his partner Will Young, and they were both caught mid-pitch as Marnus Labuschagne produced a direct hit from a close mid-off. It was typical New Zealand. They just weren't able to overcome Australia's pressure with the ball. They just succumbed pretty meekly. Some really soft dismissals actually. Tom Latham chopping on, trying a defensive stroke. Rachin Ravindra just poked one to point, slicing a drive on the up. Daryl Mitchell was undone by a pretty good piece of bowling from Pat Cummins, and then Will Young was strangled down the leg side. Glenn Phillips and Tom Blundell showed some real fight, and they are two guys with good performances in the past against Australia in their last tour to Australia in 2019-20, and they were able to build off that success and showed no fear in a century stand. Matt Henry made a really good contribution at the end of the innings, producing 41 from 34 balls, but in the end they were a long way behind in the game, even though they were able to take 2 wickets late in the day, and a really costly drop from Tim Southey right at the death. Last ball of the day at third slip means that Nathan Lyon, the night watcher, was able to escape and be not out overnight alongside Usman Khawaja. But the day was set up for Australia by Cameron Green and Josh Hazlewood. Their century stand was simply superb. They manipulated the field. They were able to rotate the strike as they wanted, with Green taking 4 to 5 balls of the over and then rotating so that Hazlewood could finish by facing the last ball of the over and keeping it out. Hazlewood said in the press conference afterwards he'd seen so many good half-century stands against Australia for the 10th wicket in recent times. He knew exactly what was going to frustrate the New Zealanders, and it was that exact method that got them through to a huge partnership. And New Zealand didn't really have any answers. They didn't have a proper plan, a real method to find a way through Australia. Matt Henry bowled superbly again. He deserved his 5 wickets. He probably could have got a 5th wicket earlier with a bit of luck. He beat the bat numerous times when he pitched up to Cameron Green. But Green was outstanding. Hit 5 sixes over the leg side when they dropped short. Finished with 174 not out to underpin Australia's total, which could be a match-winning score in the scheme of the game. Glenn Phillips said afterwards that New Zealand would be comfortable chasing potentially 350 to 400 on this surface, given it's going to improve over the next couple of days. But it has been really challenging for batters throughout this Test match, and you'd imagine it's not going to get that much easier, particularly against the new ball, as was shown tonight for the Australians, and they'll have a tough hour's work tomorrow if Henry continues to bowl in the form that he's been in. But it's Australia in control, as it always is against New Zealand. They've won 1 Test match against Australia since 1993. It looks like they might go 1-0 down in this series unless they can produce another miracle here on day 3, 4 and 5. It's a really tough ask for them to come back from where they are in this Test.